Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be an epic live stream. A lot more than just Rick Gates admitting to crimes that have nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion, which never happened. I'm going to give you my take on the state of journalism and American politics and truth in our country. Well, what do people view as truth? To my super chat, thank you so very, very much. What is truth? What is truth, ladies and gentlemen? Is truth using a private server for convenience? Is truth golf, Brexit, and grandchildren? Is that truth? We have to find out as a country what's reality. Eric H526, hello, Hal, and everyone. Love you all. Have a great week. Thanks again for the love in this channel. Love you. Love what you do, brother. Keep up the amazing work. Eric H526, you are amazing, and you are the moderator of this channel. Anyone messes around, regulate. Eric's going to regulate. Why are millions of people talking about Russia stealing the election without even quoting a Facebook ad that is said to have swung the election? Why are people saying the intelligence community concluded when that is a vapid statement? 2 minutes in, over 300 people. We're going to have an epic live. Ladies and gentlemen, people change in life. What you see, it's over here actually. What you see is that's a photo of Bill Clinton's inauguration in 1996. I was in Washington, D.C. I was an intern at the State Department. And I actually have a framed photo of Barack Obama's inauguration as well. I'm a lifelong Democrat. And I agree. I think what happened to Alex Jones is horrendous. I agree. I think it's absolutely horrendous, although I will make some critique, respectful critique of Alex Jones and InfoWars. The writing was on the wall on what you couldn't say or what you couldn't discuss. And that's a whole other story. But again, I think it's absolutely horrible that Alex Jones and InfoWars were banned. It's kind of surreal when you go and you look. I mean, I never really watched Alex Jones or InfoWars. There were some things, like, for example, in the Second Amendment that he, like there's a Ted Nugent piece, and there are things here and there, but you know what? He was an important voice. Not everything he stated was I agree with, and he shouldn't have. I don't think he should have gone towards the Sandy Hook issue. The thing with me and my channel is that I'm somewhat boring in many ways. I quote from the only controversial thing about me is I say that Hillary Clinton committed crimes, which she did. Even James Comey stayed, and then she's going to go ahead and get indicted. That I believe. But what I do is I read from Reuters. I read from the New York Times. I read from all the Hamilton 68 approved publications. And then I say, and I won't be next, because the thing is, I read from reputable sources, and my analysis is not that extreme. Alex Jones should never, ever, ever have been deplatformed. Never. ever have been. Salome Baptiste Smith. I tend to know truth when I see it, as in have a built-in BS detector. Exactly. Exactly. Salome Baptiste Smith, thank you. Merci beaucoup. But, and I agree with you on that. Well, I think we all have a good BS detector, but I guess I'm let me make my point first. So, not you, the people at the, I'm reading too many of the live chat, but Salome, thank you so much. Yes, I agree with you. But before I get to Alex Jones, the issue here, ladies and gentlemen, is that Hillary lost the election because of all the fake news and all the lies that she told. Then what took place was insidious. Then what took place was, well, there was a push to state that fake news swung the election. People believed insane conspiracy theories. Okay, but it's a conspiracy theory. The Trump-Russia nonsense is actually a conspiracy theory. That is actually a conspiracy theory. To simply say that, so Salome, thank you so much. Again, thank you. To say that Salome, to say that, sorry, to say that Trump-Russia is valid, that we should obsess over this as a country, that's the reason that a lot of people gravitate towards different theories. That's the exact reason. Whether it's Q or InfoWars or whatever, or the Trump-Russia conspiracy, people want answers. On the left, they wanted answers as to why they lost. They wanted answers as to why Hillary lost, even though all the smartest people in the room said she'd win. So three people, James Comey, John Brennan, and James Clapper, who were the heads of the intelligence community, three of the most powerful people in the country, perhaps even more powerful than President Obama in what they could accomplish regarding this. Richard Cherry, Trump meets Jim Jordan, Ohio rally. Can you say destiny? Hello, Mr. Speaker. Absolutely, Richard Cherry. I would love Jim Jordan as Speaker of the House. It would be game over for Democrats. You'd get them in a headlock and and an armbar, and it would be game over. Richard Cherry, yes. Salome, thank you. But my long-winded point is this. When people are lied to all the time, they gravitate towards whomever is going to give them an explanation, or whatever is going to give them an explanation. People are interested in Rick Gates, and we'll get to that in a second. Rick Gates testifying against his former business partner because it hurts Trump, and because in some way they can kind of tie it to Trump-Russia collusion, but they can't. So at the end of the day, this is just an example of political retribution that has nothing to do with the other political retribution that they've contrived, which is Trump-Russia. Trump did not work with Russia. There's zero evidence. James Clapper stated there's no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. Yet Alex Jones is deplatformed, but Rachel Maddow is not. Rachel Maddow is not deplatformed. She's not going to be banned because war with a Cold War or a potential conflict with Russia is not viewed as a conspiracy theory if James Comey, who is now completely disgraced, and John Brennan, who is known as the biggest liar on the planet, he actually lied under oath. Clapper and Brennan both lied under oath. There are a lot of people asking great questions. So I have to, I guess, my train of thought. I'm just going to finish my train of thought and then answer some questions. But what I'm trying to say is there are conspiracy theories in the United States of America that are viewed as relevant realities. So the DNC never gave its computer servers to the FBI. They hired CrowdStrike, and Hillary Clinton outsourced CrowdStrike and purchased the Steele dossier through money laundered, funneled through if you want to use it, or paid through her law firm. Then we have BuzzFeed suing the DNC. Then we have BuzzFeed getting sued for defamation. Then we have Christopher Steele and Fusion GPS getting sued. There's zero evidence that Trump worked with Russia. The Steele dossier is complete gossip. There was a FISA warrant to spy on an American citizen. And at the end of the day, it is a glorified, legitimized conspiracy theory. There is no evidence for the claims made. That is essentially what a conspiracy theory is. Grandiose claims made with no evidence. And that's what you have with Rick Gates and at the Manafort trial. Manafort is on trial. Even the judge knows, simply so he would flip on Trump. But he didn't flip on Trump, and Rick Gates is now testifying against Manafort, but who knows what he's actually saying? Who knows what he's actually saying? He's probably not giving the extent of their business dealings. And I'll just read you. So today, you have a Reuters article, or Reuters right now, with just in Rick Gates. This is a couple of minutes back. Rick Gates testifies that he committed crimes with Paul Manafort. So, did he commit crimes that have to do with Trump, Russia? No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. But the issue here is that it's part of a conspiracy theory, or as part of wild, ridiculous, absurd accusations that Trump actually worked with Russia, because the intelligence community is moderately, the NSA is moderately confident, and the CIA and the FBI are highly confident. And the Manafort trial is the exact reason nobody cares about Trump-Russia collusion, because it has nothing to do with Russian hackers. So at the end of the day, we are discussing, there's this national, what Alex Jones did, he touched upon some subjects that are very sensitive, okay? And he questioned certain things that perhaps he shouldn't have questioned, just because, they hurt people who suffered. But at the end of the day, also, he spoke about a whole lot. And he was a voice among conservatives that was a galvanizing, powerful voice. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, he might very well come back on YouTube, because these types of things happen. Like, major tech companies remove Alex Jones for hate bullying, but I've never received more bullying than on the left. When I was on the left, that was when most of the bullying took place. Now I'm a little bit more conservative on a lot of things, and like, nobody bullies me, nobody, or tries to bully me. Nobody bullied me on the left, but they would try to insult me or whatever. Then you have the issue of Trump may override Rosenstein, declassify remaining DOJ FISA docs. He should declassify everything. Let them squirm. And again, that's the thing. They're hiding behind redacted documents. And that's one reason why Alex Jones was very popular. He was right some of the time, wrong some of the time. He wasn't, he was like a conservative Rachel Maddow. There's really no difference between Alex Jones and a conservative Rachel Maddow. I mean, Alex Jones. There's really no difference between Alex Jones and Rachel Maddow, aside from, yes, Alex Jones did speak about certain things that he shouldn't have discussed. But I mean, when you talk about geopolitical conflicts, Maddow and Joe Scarborough and all of them, that MSNBC, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times public relations machine said that Hillary was going to win, that Trump would destroy the planet. Now there's a good economy. Now there's peace between North and South Korea, hopefully the beginning of peace. Now there are corrupt FBI agents that are being exposed. And everything they said was wrong, so they backtracked or they doubled down. And they said, okay, well, you know what? It was really Russia. They can't explain how Russia even influenced one vote. They have no idea what happened, why the Democratic Party servers were not given to the U.S. government. The most massive conflict of interest is hiring CrowdStrike. And they don't even care that Hillary Clinton had top secret and special access program intelligence on an unencrypted server outside the United States government. So before we get to Alex Jones, let's just go ahead and Rick Gates. So in court, prosecutors on Mueller's team asked Rick Gates if he committed crimes with Paul Manafort. The answer was yes, Gates said. First time a senior campaign official confessed to a crime on the stand. So what? Hillary already confessed to a crime. She was too stupid to indict, though. And that has nothing to do with Trump Russia. Nothing to do with Russian hackers that don't exist. And that's the thing. It's like, where does the line between conspiracy theory and liberal propaganda end or begin? Where does that? Are you doing all right? You work hard for us. Just figured it would be worth noting that you are valued as much as your work. Thank you, Lum Lum. Thank you so very, very much. Doing great. Thank you so very, very much. And I gain a great deal of happiness doing these live streams with you and everyone here. It's just absolutely wonderful. And like I said, like on the left, it was just always stressful. You're always attacked by everyone. And I've become a Trump supporter, and it's like amazing. Lum Lum, thank you so very, very much. Thank you. Doing good. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. And the support. But say you have Ari Melber here at MSNBC. You have a whole bunch of people, Rachel Maddow, you have Joe Scarborough, all these people. In court now, prosecutor on Mueller's team asked Rick Gates if he committed crimes with Manafort. Yes, Gates says. Okay, these crimes have nothing to do with Trump Russia. And you have a lot of this, Sarah Carr, despite the fact that DOJ Inspector Horowitz discovered former James Comey used a personal email account for work-related communications. The Justice Department is not taking steps to preserve those emails. So the DOJ is like, well, if you don't use a server, it's okay. So the bar being set so low. At a certain point, once they lose, and this is why it's important, and this is why exactly when they lose the House and the Senate, I was never opposed to free speech. In fact, I don't think that anyone should get fired. Salome, the expression conspiracy theory is a CIA coinage, by the way, 1968, may be in the Oxford Dictionary by now. Yes. Thank you, Salome. Thank you. Thank you, Salome. Exactly. And the interesting thing is that it's just simply used as a way of stifling discussion, because if you disagree with someone's assertions or claims, then you don't have to, like, if you disagree with somebody's assertions or claims, then you just go ahead and present evidence. So this is also what happened to Candace Owens. She just went to.
Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your capitalist breakfast.
So it's just the whole thing. It's not sustainable. What they don't understand is that, so Candace Owens, I think it was with Charlie Kirk today. Would like to personally and publicly thank the Philly police force for keeping us safe today. As you can see in the video, they were all Hispanic and black. The white liberals were shouting no good cops and a racist system. Listen to the black female officer at the end. So it's just, it's not sustainable, because the thing is, there are African Americans who are conservative. Oh, by the way, don't tread on me. This is a shout out to Don't Tread on Me. I ended the segment yesterday early, and Don't Tread on Me, thank you so very much. I got your message, and thank you, Don't Tread on Me. Thank you also for being a veteran and everything you've done for this country and your patriotism, and just thank you. Thank you so very much. April Connolly, I want Trump to declassify FISA application 2. If he does, where's the chance that the Dems will cry obstruction? They're going to cry obstruction. They're going to cry, and they're going to yell and scream. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter. April, I agree 100% with you. And at the end of the day, it's really not going to matter, because, like I said in 2015, that Clinton would lose. They're not going to win the House back. They're definitely not going to win the House or the Senate. And there's going to be a Republican Speaker of the House. And Trump is going to be strengthened even more so. Even more so. So yeah, and then you see a whole bunch of things that he can do on the lead up to 2020 that he couldn't do. You know, the Mueller probe will end, whether Mueller likes it or not, or whether Democrats like it or not. April Connolly, I agree with you 100%. Smurf Herder, thank you for bringing the truth to the people. H.A. Trump will bring down the Fed central bank. Get your Bitcoin while you still can. There are only 21 million. Thank you, Smurf Herder. Thank you, Smurf Herder. Greatly appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So, when Candace Owens is attacked, you have a big problem on the left. Like I stated, you're not going to see this type of thing. So then they poured water on Charlie Kirk. I think it was Charlie Kirk, right? Or was it Jack Posobiec? Wait, who? Charlie Kirk. Sorry. You just see a whole bunch of, there's like no point to this. It's just a whole bunch of people yelling that he's a fascist and all these. It's like, well, what are you doing? Like, what? How is this changing? So this is like Candace Owens. She's a black female conservative. If you disagree with anyone, why do you have to try to bully the person? That's the issue. The issue is not, you don't go ahead and bully people and then expect your side to be, righteous, or it just makes no sense. So my thing is, if you disagree with somebody, like, for example, I keep on bringing it up, I debated Richard Spencer, and I explained, especially in the last 20 minutes, I got him to admit the real danger and the real threat of that, his mentality. He alluded, he didn't say, but he alluded to genocide within a theoretical genocide within a theoretical state. So I opposed his viewpoint, but I did so with a debate. The thing with Alex Jones, we'll get to. I mean, I kind of wanted. I keep on wanting to gravitate towards that, but Rick Gates today. So let's just look at Rick Gates. So Rick Gates testified today, not on Russian hackers, not on the Steele dossier, not on any collusion with Russia, which is a joke. They've convinced themselves. One of my buddies today that I grew up with said, no, the economy is not good. He hates Trump. He said, the economy is not good. I said, what? I was like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? How can you say it's not good? You can say, well, wages aren't growing. Well, wages didn't grow under Obama. Wages have been stagnant or growing at a snail's pace for a long time. But now you have Tony Podesta also under federal criminal investigation because of Mueller, which I wrote would take place in 2017. And it's like they don't make the connection between Podesta and Clinton, but they make this vapid connection between Mueller and Trump that has nothing to do, that has absolutely nothing to do with Russian hacking or alleged Russian hacking, that only CrowdStrike has stated possibly took place. Even CrowdStrike never stated that they're certain. They said, well, these Fuzzy Bear and Cozy Bear, and then they had to backtrack on a whole bunch of their claims. Star witness Gates testifies he committed crimes with Manafort. Star witness. Rick Gates, a longtime business associate of U.S. President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman Paul Manafort, on Monday testified at trial that he helped Manafort file false tax returns and did not disclose foreign bank accounts. Okay, is this... So this is the Yahoo article, ladies and gentlemen. Does this have anything to do with Russian hacking? Rob, thank you. Thank you, Rob, thank you. Thank you, Rob. Mitchell Diamond. What do you know about MK Ultra? Well, MK Ultra was a CIA operation decades ago. And it was a CIA Project MK Ultra Wikipedia, CIA mind control program, and they used like LSD and a whole bunch of crazy forms of torture. It was pretty bad. Tried to manipulate people's minds. It's nasty. The CIA even tried to implant have you heard about Operation Kitty? Operation Acoustic Kitty. I'm going to give you all a chance. What do you think Operation Acoustic Kitty was about? Wingless Angel. Trump, grab him by the FISA. Exactly. Funny. Wingless Angel, thank you. Thank you, Wingless Angel. So what do you think Acoustic Kitty was about? Yes. Yes, it was, and not only that, it was really disgusting. They opened up cats and then put in an eavesdropping device. Acoustic Kitty was a CIA project launched by the Central Intelligence Agency, which intended to use cats to spy on the Kremlin. Veterinarians would implant microchips in the cat's ear canal. It just didn't work out. Why? Because the cats wouldn't go. Wait, what was it? The failed project was considered a failure and declared to be a total loss. Difficulty to train the cats to behave as required. So you're talking about this is the organization that is supposed to protect the country. So we have 700 people. $700 people, half an hour in, not bad. We did not submit the required form designating he had control over an offshore accounts. Gates told the jury, okay, that doesn't seem like a really horrible. When prosecutor began to ask, Gates replied, at Mr. Manafort's direction. Gates also testified he and Manafort knew it was a crime because they had been notified by Manafort's accountants in emails. Okay, so Gates is committing crimes alongside, so then he's trying to turn on Manafort, but this has nothing to do with Trump Russia. So, and Manafort at the end of the day is going to be pardoned by Trump. The only reason Manafort is on trial is because of the ridiculous notion that Trump worked with Russia. The whole thing is simply meant to try and attack Trump, to try and, flip Gates or whatever, or Manafort or anyone, just to say that he worked with Russia, that the Russians, but it never happened. So Wingless Angel, again, grab him by the FISA, exactly. Trump definitely needs to grab him by the FISA. Absolutely. Manafort's attorney has signaled they will seek to blame Gates and have accused him of embezzling millions of dollars from Manafort. Gates and Manafort have each known each other for 2 decades and ran a multi-million-dollar political consulting business. Gates also worked for the Trump election campaign. Manafort has pleaded not guilty to 18 counts of bank and tax fraud and failing to disclose foreign bank accounts. The charges largely predate his 5 months on the Trump campaign, but were the first to go to trial arising from special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference. There was no Russian interference. Facebook ads didn't. Again, we're getting back to conspiracy theories. Where is the evidence that any of these Facebook ads swung the election? Notice how they don't talk about specific Facebook ads. Notice how they don't talk about how many people within swing states were influenced by these Facebook ads. One of the few articles talking about that, these ads, is an article the only article talking about specific ads is a political article that talks about a Buff Bernie coloring book. Buff Bernie coloring book. And that didn't... That did not swing the election. So it's like, I have no idea how they can go ahead and say that Russia swung the election when they don't even explain how. They use all these nebulous, ambiguous, all-encompassing phrases, and they don't even really, like, it's just, there's no evidence for anything, but I'll read you. So prosecutors on Monday went through a list of overseas corporations, and Gates testified that all of them were controlled by Manafort and contained income earned by his political consulting work. This is like, it would be so amazing if the judge was like, nah. You know what? If Obama's DOJ cared about this, they would have simply, well, we already knew that Tony Podesta lobbied on behalf of Uranium One. Wow, that's scary. Great white shark breaches water below boat. Ouch. Not good. So let me go ahead. Gates and said an associate, Konstantin Klimenik, had control over the overseas accounts. Klimenik is a Russian-Ukrainian political consultant who was indicted in June on charges stemming from the Mueller probe. Gates testified that Manafort directed him to report overseas income as loans in order to lower taxable income, and that at Manafort's request did not disclose foreign bank accounts. The jury has heard testimony on Friday and Monday from accountant Cynthia Laporta, who described how Manafort and Gates doctored financial statements and backdated loans. In questioning Laporta on Monday, a prosecutor asked the accountant about a $10 million loan purportedly received by Manafort from Russian businessman Oleg Deripaska in 2006. Laporta, looking at a summary of loans to Manafort and his business, said she could not see any indication that a loan from Deripaska had been paid off. Since the trial before U.S. District Judge T.S. Ellis last Tuesday, Manafort's lawyers have kept their cross-examinations brief and at a time refrained from attempting to rebut damaging testimony in detail. But Laporta's testimony raised the stakes for Manafort, legal experts said. Testifying under immunity, she was the first witness to admit she knew accounting maneuvers Manafort and Gates requested of her were wrong and could be crimes. Jeez. Then why did you keep working? One accounting trick saved Manafort $500,000 in taxes, she said. Wowzers. Horace, salut. Horace, thank you so much. Thank you, Horace. Thank you, Horace. My question is, thank you again, Horace. You even the bookkeeper is like, look, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do, like, they were all in on it. And Rick Gates says he committed crimes with Trump campaign chief Paul Manafort. So the CNBC, you talk about a headline that's not entirely accurate. Yeah, these crimes have nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion. And then, of course, the CNN, one of the CNN guys, I've seen some cold stares in my life, but watching Paul Manafort stare down his former deputy, arms crossed, as Rick Gates recounted the long list of his alleged crimes was remarkable. So this is like, you know, they're all just so happy. They're like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. No, it's not happening, Democrats. It is not happening. Nothing here is going to give you the midterms. Let's see the polls. So Rick Gates testified that they all committed crimes. Even the bookkeeper was committing crimes, and she testified under immunity. So, but this has nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion, which is what the Mueller probe was about. Don't say, well, Whitewater led to a blue dress. No, that's completely different. It still has to do with Clinton. Manafort has nothing to do with Trump at this point, or Russia, or Trump-Russia collusion. These things happened years before the campaign. It's just a bunch of nonsense. And which leads us to Facebook, Apple, YouTube, and Spotify ban InfoWars Alex Jones. Wow. Esquire, Alex Jones doesn't deserve your concern. Really, Esquire? He was tossed from platforms like Facebook for inciting harassment. It's not a First Amendment issue. Really? So when I go ahead and I went to, ladies and gentlemen, I went to Twitter. I showed Twitter the same texts that allowed me to file a police report that the LAPD had regarding a guy who was harassing me and trying to bully and harass and threaten. I was told then by Twitter, well, we're looking into it, blah, 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 blah. And I just used the actual Twitter profile. So there is a police report regarding a Twitter profile that the LAPD has. Because Twitter was so inept, they couldn't, they just completely inept. They didn't realize that, somebody was actually harassing me and others, but it was okay because it was on the left or wasn't that big of a deal. With Alex Jones, it's like, okay, the harassment that I've seen comes from the left to everybody. The most surreal part of Alex Jones' show is the rapid-fire volley of whacked-out theories he no longer feels it's necessary to explain or justify, kind of like Trump-Russia collusion. The InfoWars canon has so many layers of conspiratorial nonsense that claims, like the government put fluoride in tap water to turn the frogs gay. That whole thing, I don't even know what that's about on both sides. On Jones's side and with people who keep quoting it, what that whole thing, or that Hillary Clinton is suffering from seemingly every disease in the medical textbooks. Well, she did fall. That's the thing. Again, it's okay for Mika Brzezinski and for other people, and this is the hypocrisy. It's okay for Mika Brzezinski and for other people to say, well, Trump has a mental problem. Let's go ahead and here's a drugstore psychologist, or here's a psychologist engaged in drugstore psychology, and he's just going to go ahead and she's just going to go ahead and explain all the mental problems Trump has, even though she never met, or he or she never met Trump. It's happened numerous times. Trump is mentally deranged. Oh my God, he's suffers from this issue and that issue. But here, so Hillary Clinton is suffering seemingly from every disease in the medical and also operating a high level. Okay. And that's where the whole Pizzagate thing, that's another thing that you shouldn't. That's why you need to stay away from the mass belief in something without specific evidence. You can't go ahead and say, oh, well, look at what's taking place because there are these codes, or we have proofs or whatever. It's just use reputable sources. That's all. There's no time for evidence. The globalists are trying to establish a new world order. So then again, this is, you can really make the case with the mainstream also, same type of mentality. The Sandy Hook thing he shouldn't have discussed. That was wrong of Alex Jones. But then again, it's also wrong of Rachel Maddow to try and create a new Cold War. 58,000 Americans died in Vietnam because of the Cold War. You don't want to keep provoking tensions with a former Cold War adversary because you're moderately to highly confident that somebody hacked the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. The InfoWars thing was egregious. I mean, I'm sorry, the Sandy Hook thing was egregious. He should not have gone into that, and I think that was the beginning of the end. But everything else he discussed, you can make parallels with what the mainstream is saying regarding a whole bunch of things. From Trump having a mental problem to Trump-Russia collusion. Yoni A! Wait, you didn't know the frogs are gay? Yoni A! Yoni A, thank you. So, meanwhile, Jones and InfoWars have access to their audience through an app that's still available in the Apple Store. The First Amendment does not guarantee everyone a megaphone with which to spout their free speech, and that is what the tech big boys have seized from Jones. Considering the same Alex Jones that advocated for the military to arrest people who protest against the president, an actual First Amendment catastrophe, and occasionally admitted this whole act as performance art anyway, perhaps our concerns might be better directed elsewhere. Wait till they, I don't know, ban anyone who promotes the Trump-Russia conspiracy nonsense. What if they banned, what would Esquire say? Oh, well, that's different. The NSA is moderately confident. Oh, but that's sanctioned by the intelligence community. Their confidence is enough. What if you banned anyone who said that it was just golf, Brexit, and grandchildren? That Loretta Lynch just spoke about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren? Because that's an obvious lie. What about when Clinton actually lied and stated that she used the server for convenience and she never sent or received anything classified, which was another lie? So Esquire and others are very happy. They felt a victory. But then if it was them, if it's a Hollywood producer who writes the most vile, disgusting tweets about kids, oh my God, you can't do that. They're just happy because it's somebody they don't like. If it was somebody they liked, then they would be up in arms. There's no evidence that anyone got hurt from Alex Jones's discussions, or, even if you disagree with him, there's no evidence he hurt anyone. The First Amendment does not guarantee everyone a megaphone. Yeah, if they hurt somebody. I was actually threatened. That's why I went to the LAPD. If you threaten someone, it's different. Yes. But Alex Jones didn't threaten anyone. That's the issue. And then right underneath, you have the cast of collusion. So right underneath this Esquire article talking about conspiracy theories, you have a conspiracy theory that the liberal establishment believes in. The cast of collusion. So they have no concept of the word irony or hypocrisy. Again, that's the thing also. The pizza thing, the Pizzagate thing, and then you can't go ahead and you cannot bring up any like you can't use the Sandy Hook thing, the Sandy Hook tragedy as a segment, or you can't question what took place in terms of the children dying because they did. So whether or not he actually questioned that or what he questioned, I'm not 100% sure, because I've been told, well, he didn't say it didn't happen, and then some people say, well, yeah, he said it didn't happen. I didn't see that, but that's dangerous. You don't want to go ahead, and you definitely don't want to go ahead and do that. But he still, I mean, that was very likely a strike that he got. But he's been on for years and years and years. And that's just one of the numerous topics he's spoken about. I mean, this is the thing. It's not a matter of whether Alex Jones was wrong about that. He was. But it's also a matter of if you go ahead and you give Clinton a free pass for calling black youth super predators, if you give Clinton a free pass for calling Mahatma Gandhi a gas station attendant, which she did on YouTube, it's not leftist garbage. Some things you can't talk about because you don't have evidence. There's no evidence. See, this is the thing I have a problem with Q. This is what happens. If people had listened to me regarding Pizzagate and regarding Q and regarding a whole bunch of nonsense, Alex Jones would still be here. If Alex Jones had listened to the philosophy of not engaging in discussing things you can't back up. You can't back up saying that something didn't happen, even though it's reported to have taken place by everyone. The difference is you can question the analysis. You can question the analysis of things. That's what I do. You can question the propaganda. But an event that's already been reported and you have parents who are suffering, that was something he shouldn't have done. Again, though, what I'm not condemning Alex Jones. I'm trying to explain why why he opened himself up to this. And I'm also saying that there's an immense amount of hypocrisy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot go ahead and say Q is real, Pizzagate is real, all of these things are real, because then it leads to people being deplatformed. A lot of what Alex Jones stated was good and accurate, or true, or the analysis was a lot more spot on than Rachel Maddow saying that Trump's tax returns means that he's beholden to Putin. But you create a Pandora's box of when you start going and picking on things that are an open wound. You can't do that. That also then overshadows the good things you do. I think that Alex Jones's voice is no. You're fine. Anyone can have a channel on YouTube. Again, see, like, that's the thing. The rebuttal is going to make me sound like I'm against Alex Jones. I'm not. But if you just go ahead and you use, like, for example, here, what I just did with Rick Gates, and I'm not trying to. Alex Jones had millions of subscribers. I have 116,000. It's not a matter here. I use an actual CNN article. Gates says he and Manafort didn't report 15 foreign accounts, knew it was illegal. Okay. So I'll go ahead and I will give you the link. And here's the link. And my analysis is, well, Gates says he and Manafort didn't report 15 foreign bank accounts. What does that have to do with Trump-Russia collusion? It has nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion. So objectively, it has nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion. Okay? The defense in the case is likely to subject Gates to an extensive cross-examination. And then the president is watching proceedings carefully as Mueller appears to be moving closer to his inner circle. He was only there for a couple of months and on multiple fronts. And again, this is the conspiracy theory on the left. The president is watching the proceedings carefully as Mueller appears to be moving closer to his inner circle, the assumption being that Trump did something wrong. Toggle of Bailgun. One of my parents was caught on camera laughing hysterically just hours. Oh my God. Which prompted Jones to claim he was a crisis actor. One of the parents was caught on camera laughing hysterically just hours before. Oh my God. Well, see, that's the thing. You can't go ahead. You can't go ahead, and that's all I'm saying. Again, like, don't try to, like, I know they're exactly the toggle of Bailgun. I agree with you. He shouldn't have gone there. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. There has to be some reasoned critique. I think it's horrible that he was deplatformed. I think it's stupid. I think if anything, like I said, like you try to ban somebody, their voice will grow stronger. Then he goes to whatever platform and brings hundreds of thousands of people with him. So toggle of Bailgun, I agree with you. Yeah. Juanito Moon, in your opinion, did Alex get axed due to what he said was wrong or what was right? Russia collusion and flat earth profiles are still allowed. Exactly. I think that what happened, Juanito Moon, I think that what took place is what I'm kind of trying to explain to people, and a lot of people in the chat are not like getting it because they think it's, wrong. I think what took place was there were certain things that he spoke about that were open wounds. And you don't want to speak about an open wound. The issue of fake news is not the reporting of an event. Events take place. Events take place. So if it's a tragedy, the tragedy took place. You're not going to have everyone from Fox to CNN to Breitbart to MSNBC report on something, send reporters there, and it just didn't happen. Okay? The issue is, if you're dealing with a tragedy like that, that is the big reason why. That was the initial push against Alex Jones. He could have spoken about fluoride and all that stuff, but once he got into open wounds, that was the issue. Now, next to that, I also say the whole Q phenomenon, the whole Pizzagate thing, these are bad for conservatives. Really bad. Really bad. Because it's not that children aren't abused. It's not that people aren't assaulted. It's not that they're, I interviewed a man who was very, very courageous, who lived through all that stuff and spoke out and speaking out against it on my channel. So, but you see, the thing is, like, he had documentation regarding a whole lot to prove what took place. So that's all I'm trying to say. It's not. There's too much emphasis on. There's less of a discussion on. Yes, April, you're right, but on YouTube there's a certain community standard. You can cuss. Like I think I can cuss on my live stream and do a whole lot of things. I choose not to, but that's why I gave a profanity alert before. Like, you can do a lot on YouTube. You can do a lot. I'm not 100% conservative. I'm liberal on a lot of things and then conservative on things like Second Amendment. YouTube allows you a pretty wide platform, but again, there are certain things you don't want to kind of touch. Open wounds you don't want to touch, whether it's a tragedy. Okay, any type of like mass murder tragedy you don't want to touch at all. Now, especially like that day or the day after, or especially if it has to do with children, you don't want to go ahead and say it never happened, so that's what I'm trying to say. Fake news is the analysis that's fake. So the analysis of Alex Jones on a lot of things, it made sense. The analysis made sense. I believe he was very much against the Russia thing, the Russia conspiracy nonsense. Yes. So, but that's also the thing. You're also dealing with people who you also have to be strategic. If you are a conservative, I'm not conservative, but well, let's see. I'm conservative on some things. I'm liberal on some, progressive on other things, but I'm just basically independent at this point, and I'm a Trump supporter. I'm voting for Trump 2020 for a whole lot of reasons. Primarily because he's less hawkish, he's less militant than the Max Boots and the Bill Kristol and the Joe Scarboroughs of the world, who don't mind regime change. So you have to also understand, like, you have to also kind of, like, what would your political enemy, how is your political enemy going to utilize certain things against you? You don't want to devote your life to worrying about what the other political side would do. But like I always stated, Q is like really bad for the truth. Pizzagate was really bad. They're going to utilize any mass hysteria against conservatives who then go ahead and say, hey, look, here's evidence. Just based on evidence, there is no Russia collusion. Oh, yeah? Really? I bet you like Comet Pizza, huh? It's like, wait a second. No, don't bring that up. They are bringing people on the left when they have nothing. They bring up that. They bring up Q. They bring up Pizzagate. They bring up, Alex Jones with the frogs. You probably like Alex Jones with the frogs, huh? So that's not good for conservatives. The thing that Jones was good in terms of is like a galvanizing force regarding he countered the mainstream spin. In that sense, whether it was Trump Russia or Trump winning or Democrats or Clinton. Thank you, Horace. Thank you. Love your message, brother. Keep on. Thank you so very much, Horace. Thank you, as always, for your support of this channel. Thank you, Horace. Thank you. Thank you very much, always, for your support. The fact that Alex Jones went after the mainstream was a good thing. The fact that he served as a foil for places like the Young Turks is a good thing. You need a foil to the Democratic Party. So in many ways, Alex Jones was that foil. That is a good thing, because what Democrats do is any lies, any fabrications, any cheating that takes place that they're a part of, they don't admit. Their vantage point is, well, the other side's worse. The other side is worse. So that's always their vantage point. Now you have a situation where Trump may override Rosenstein declassify. I'll do a segment on that this evening, but I will do a segment on that later. But after months of dribbling out incomplete documents, this is Zero Hedge. Documented requests made by frustrated GOP lawmakers. President Trump may be about to override Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and use his presidential authority to declassify several caches of information related to the DOJ, FBI's ongoing Trump-Russia counterintelligence operations. If you're Trump right now, all you do is declassify the most embarrassing documents that implicate Brennan, Clapper, and Comey. That's it. Trout fishing at Hood Park. Alex Jones tends to overdo it. Ego gets people in trouble. What does the Strzok needle look like? Do your thing, HA. Good job. Hashtag paper ballots. Hashtag term limits. Thank you, trout fishing at Hood Park. The Strzok, my goodness. Peter Strzok, what's taking place. Thank you, as always, trout fishing at Hood Park. Thank you, as always, for your support of this channel. I think what Peter Strzok right now faces the same fate as Lisa Page and all the others, except there's a lot more ammunition against him, so to speak, within the FBI. The Office of Professional Responsibility is a department within the FBI. This is a department within the FBI that investigated Andrew McCabe. This, by the way, is the same department within the FBI that stated that Andrew McCabe lied under oath 4 times. Lied 4 times, twice under oath. And a whole bunch of things that he actually, the Office of Professional Responsibility, trout fishing at Hood Park within the FBI, stated that Andrew McCabe not only took $700,000 from Terry McAuliffe, which is basically a Democratic Party money man, governor of Virginia, but, slimy reptilian guy, makes James Comey almost probably might be even more slimy than James Comey. I don't know if that's possible. But I think that what'll take place is that the Office of Professional Responsibility. Oh yeah, so Andrew McCabe, he was found by the Office of Professional Responsibility to actually that he was, when he leaked, because he leaked information to the press regarding the FBI Clinton Foundation probe, which is ongoing now as we speak. What took place is that they said, well, he leaked the information not for the benefit of the American people, but for him to save face, for him to pretend that he was that he was really tough on the Clintons. See, that's the thing. No, I don't piggyback. I never piggybacked off Alex Jones, and I'm actually defending Alex Jones. But it's the thing: if you're not with Alex Jones, well, yeah, you can't critique him. There's certain things he did that were wrong, and there's certainly things he did that were right. Thank you, 1776. Thank you, Horace. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you so very, very much. So trout fishing at Hood Park, the Office of Professional Responsibility will go after Strzok for the Stop Trump text, for all of these things. The Stop Trump text, the insurance policy, and then they're going to go, basically, Lisa Page flipped on him already, said, yeah, a lot of his texts were legit. I mean, he meant what he said. Then they're going to very likely find out why he deleted 5 references to gross negligence regarding Clinton instead of he made these references extreme carelessness, which is exactly what exonerated her. So there's a whole lot going on with that. So Horace, thank you so very much. Horace, Bruce Smith, I listen to Alex Jones all the time when I want to decompress. I listen, of course, to your H.A. Goodman, but I always regret listening to you. Bruce Smith, thank you so very, very, very much. Thank you so very much. And like I said, like, Alex Jones was a needed voice. I think that his voice was needed. The problem was there were certain things he did that lent himself to what took place today. That's all. Had he not opened that wound regarding Sandy Hook, he would have still been on. That's my point also, like, for people who don't see that. Like, did he really have to talk about Sandy? He shouldn't have. He would still be on today. I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, the whole frogs thing, whatever, Alex Jones would still be on had he not said a word about Sandy Hook. He should never have done so. But that's the thing. Bruce Tamazuski, HA listening for years. Who is Hamilton 68 is, thank you, Bruce. Hamilton 68 is this Orwellian think tank / organization that ranks media in terms of, like, basically they try to say that it's, in terms of media truthfulness, but it's really ranks media in terms of, like, its importance to Russia or the Kremlin. It's kind of like they're like this media ranking organization, and it's very Orwellian. And basically anybody who doesn't espouse the Russia hacking nonsense, well, so, like, if you pretty much, if you're anti, let's just look at the actual site. So here, thank you, Horace, again, as always. So Hamilton 68, what is it? Why am I having trouble explaining what it is? So it's tracking Putin's propaganda push. There you go. So that's hilarious. Basically, if you dislike the Democratic Party, you're part of Putin's propaganda. Accounts tracked on the dashboard this week tweeted on a range of foreign policy issues surrounding the U.S.-Russia elections. So early in the week, chatter. So basically, anybody who dislikes Clinton, oh my God, unsubstantiated, channeling $400 million to Clinton campaign, and then it was just a couple million. So all of this is just basically, there's like this whole, this entire industry that exists just to further Democratic Party nonsense. So Tucker Carlson, it's basically just, it's supposed to be this tracker of fake news that helps Russia, even though they've never even explained how fake news actually, what is it? Most of the fake news benefited Clinton. There was one study. Let me see if there was a study. So Stanford study finds fake news didn't tip election against Clinton. Ironically, the most widely believed fake news stories were those that benefited her. This is Michael Sonato, who is a brilliant, brilliant journalist. So a Stanford study basically stated, yeah, you know what? Fake news didn't benefit. Fake news did not benefit Trump, and if anything, the fake news helped. If anything, the fake news helped Clinton. So that's the thing. It's like, they're not gonna be able to spin anything anymore when they lose. So let's go ahead really quickly. And so here's the Observer article. Here's the Observer article on that. The proof is that there are families who buried children. It was, it did happen. You cannot fabricate these tragedies. It did happen. That's why I'm saying fake news is not the events that take place. Fake news is the analysis and spin. There was, yes, the WikiLeaks published the DNC and Podesta emails. There's zero evidence regarding any claim of how WikiLeaks obtained the emails. They blamed Russia because it was an easy. It was ingrained in our subconscious. Polls, midterms. Let's see. Real clear politics. So this is going to be interesting. So 6.9. It was like 7 point something. It's tightening already. Democrats up 4. Then you have Trump with people really think that it's like they really think that that Trump in some way colluded. But they don't even explain what the collusion would have entailed in terms of actually. So you have The Economist up, Democrats up 4. They're going to lose the midterms, both the House and Senate. And Democrats have no clue exactly. Trump derangement syndrome. They have no clue how Facebook ads influenced even one vote. I have a feeling, though, that Alex Jones will eventually be back. It's not good for YouTube. How many millions of subs did he have? Yeah, over 1 million. So it's not really good for YouTube. Let's go to Paul Sperry real quick. FEC records. So Twitter's chief legal advisor has given exclusively to Democratic candidates, including the maximum donations allowed to both Clinton and Obama's campaign. She's encouraging voters to join the anti-Trump resistance in November. So, of course, and they're still losing. They won't win in November. Look this month for posts to declassify 20 redacted pages of June 2017 FISA renewal. Dum. That's going to get Rosenstein. This is Paul Sperry. Paul Sperry, journalist, a lot of places, New York Post included. So No, and I think it's horrible. I think what the only thing though that, again, I try to say, YouTube a lot like lets you know if you've, sometimes it's like ridiculous, like, whoa, like where did that come from? I've heard instances where it's like, whoa, where did that come from? You know, John, how violent do you think the left will become? They won't become violent. What'll take place is they'll reevaluate all the like the Antifa stuff and the identity politics. There will be, once it takes place, once they lose the midterms, both the House and the Senate, once they lose again, the progressives will say to the neoliberals, "You didn't listen to us. We should have gone way far left." And then the Democratic establishment will say, "Oh my goodness, the progressives destroyed our chances again." In a way, both of them will be at fault, and they won't even know it. The endless push over Trump Russia, nobody cares about. Only people like Bill Maher and Joy Behar and, you know, the most hardcore Democrats care about. They don't care about. People do not care about Trump-Russia collusion. They do not care about it. It's not an issue. Okay? Also, Democrats don't have many core beliefs that they'll refuse to vote for a Democrat. They don't have enough core beliefs to where if a Democrat tramples upon them, they'll just say, "Nah, I'm not voting for you." Like, there are conservatives. If you had a conservative who didn't protect the Second Amendment or gun rights, then they would have zero chance, absolutely zero chance. Okay. There are a lot of conservatives who will vote for a candidate pro-life, and if the candidate is not pro-life, they're not going to vote for the person. But with liberals, there's not that many. Like, you could cheat Bernie Sanders, you'll still vote for Democrat. You can have Max Boot as, you know, or Bill Kristol vote Democrat and tell people, and that there'll be a regime change foreign policy. That's okay, because their advantage was, oh, who cares? Well, at least you have this or that. At least you have, you know, Roe v. Wade. Well, yeah, but you're sending soldiers to be harmed and die and sacrifice in countries around the world. We should bring home our soldiers. That's actually a progressive issue. When Rand Paul or when Trump talks about bringing home soldiers from Syria, and then, oh, by the way, there was a coincidence, then that is actually a progressive, like, that used to be a liberal left thing to be like, oh, bring our soldiers home. You don't hear that on the left. That's why they'll lose. The Democrats are actually more militant than Trump. Obama destroyed Libya. Let's go ahead, Obama and Libya. So this is Obama, Libya. Libya aftermath, worst mistake of my presidency. So when Trump tweets something, it's like, oh my God, look what he tweeted. He's a horrible person. He tweeted something. And Obama's like, yeah, you know, destroying a country in Africa was my worst mistake. Everyone's like, no problem. At least you owned up to it. It's fine. So U.S. President Barack Obama has said failing to prepare for the aftermath after ousting Libyan leader Colonel Muammar Gaddafi was the worst mistake of his presidency. This is the BBC. This is the BBC. So, again, like, my analysis is Libya. U.S. President Barack Obama said failing to prepare for the aftermath of the ousting of Libyan leader Colonel Muammar Gaddafi was the worst mistake of his presidency. Mr. Obama was answering a series of questions on the highs and lows of his time in office on Fox News. He said, however, that intervening in Libya had been the right thing to do. How is it the right thing to do if it was your biggest mistake? Well, there you go. It was the right thing to do, even though it ended in catastrophe. IS gained a footload. Libya became a major departure point for migrants trying to reach Europe. A UN-backed national unity government arrived in the capital of Tripoli earlier this month, but waiting to take charge in 2016. And then what's going on in Libya now? There are horrible things going on right now. There's slavery in Libya right now, whereas there wasn't under Gaddafi. Migrants in Libya facing threat of slavery. United Nations. Well, isn't that's part of Obama's legacy? Migrants in Libya face the greatest danger in years of being trafficked, exploited, or enslaved by armed groups and criminal gangs, which are becoming stronger as Europe clamps down on migration. So the United Nations, the UN International Organization for Migration, says the rising numbers of migrants trapped in the North African country are prey to smugglers and traffickers who sell them as slaves. Okay, this did not happen before President. He still said, yeah, it was the right thing to do. So again, it's that is democratic foreign policy. Could you imagine if Trump did this? Could you imagine if Trump's policy did this? And so, like, where's the so let's go ahead and Libya. And they have insurgents all over Libya now. And that did not happen when Gaddafi was there. So it's like you destroyed a country, and that's your biggest mistake. Yet Trump's tweets are destroying the planet. And by the way, Trump presided over peace, the start of peace between North and South Korea. And all these insurgents that are now leaving Iraq and Syria, according to Fox, are now regrouping in Libya. So how did Obama's foreign policy, this is like you have a situation where you have regime change that didn't work, and yet they don't see the irony. They don't see the fact that they don't see the fact that they're more militant than Trump. And that's this Trump is not a pacifist. That's not the point. The point is that you have a situation where there's an inability to see what's wrong with them. Let's look at Jim Jordan real quick. Jim Jordan. Representative Jim Jordan. This is Jim Jordan.
18 months. Regulations reduced, taxes lowered, Gorsuch on the court, economy growing at a record rate, unemployment at its lowest in 20 years. Kavanaugh's on deck on the court. We're out of that crazy Iran deal, but the embassy is going to Jerusalem, and the hostages have been returned from North Korea. That's what's happened under the president's leadership. Thank you very much.
So there you go. There you go. And so Jim Jordan, he has the president's support. He has the support of people like you and me. And I'm not even a hardcore conservative or And let's see, Jim Jordan, Rod Rosenstein said he's doing what the oath of the office obligates us to do. Then why has he failed to comply with congressional requests and subpoenas, been caught hiding information from Congress, and according to media reports, threatened staff on the House Intel Committee? And then Rosenstein's like, you shouldn't believe what you read in the media. Then why did you use a Steele dossier? Steele dossier was spoken about in the media, and it was used in the media to foment this whole Trump-Russia conspiracy theory. Judge orders intel agencies to answer some dossier questions in BuzzFeed case. So then the intel agencies they'll give an answer that is so vague, you can't even, BuzzFeed won't be able to protect itself. So a federal judge on Friday ordered intelligence agencies as a Politico to formally respond to a BuzzFeed subpoena. So here's the article. This is really interesting. So this is really interesting. Judge orders intel agencies to answer some dossier questions in BuzzFeed. So a federal judge on Friday ordered intelligence agencies to formally respond to a BuzzFeed subpoena seeking details about their awareness and possession of so-called Steele dossier prior to the media organization's decision to publish it on January 10, 2017. It might be the case, actually, ladies and gentlemen, that BuzzFeed will do more to help Trump by trying to find out how it was duped into publishing the Steele dossier than actually hurting Trump. Remember, I said this, when it's all said and done and BuzzFeed eventually defends itself from all of these lawsuits and tries to find out exactly why Comey and Brennan and Clapper used the Steele dossier, even though it was unverified, they'll help Trump uncover the layers and layers of this madness. In the ruling, Washington, D.C. based district court judge determined that most of the disclosures BuzzFeed is seeking from the agencies have been discussed publicly, and in some cases, confirmed by President Donald Trump's decision to declassify information connected to the dossier earlier this year. So the issue regarding FISA, the FISA warrant, doesn't really help it, I don't think, in what it's doing, but we'll see. Again, regarding Infowars, look, it's like an allegiance to Infowars didn't become so popular without, yes, going to the extreme here and there. But that's my point. I actually enjoyed Alex Jones, and if I didn't like something, I simply didn't watch it. What I'm saying is that it's wrong. No, it can't, because the thing is, I list sources. I list Politico and CNN, and then I give my analysis. My analysis is not, this horrible tragedy didn't happen. My analysis is, oh, this conspiracy theory called Trump-Russia has zero evidence. There's the nuance. It's just like a critique does not mean I'm condemning. That's the thing. When you're a content creator on YouTube, first of all, I don't think anyone should be deplatformed for things they say. Unless it's like you're actively promoting violence, then yes. Okay. If people are upset with my critique, fine. Of course it's bad that he's, again, it's like, oh my God. Look, this is the same thing that took place with Q and then with Pizzagate and all these things. I'm not saying that he should be deplatformed. I'm saying he should not be. Again, I am saying he should not be. But to try to say that Sandy Hook was a false flag or some kind of stage thing, that's wrong. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not for tech giant censorship. I'm for common sense, especially if you're Alex Jones. If you had not spoken about that, you would still be on the air. How is that wrong? It's ridiculous. No, it was not staged. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, and if that's not what he said, then that bolsters his case. But even to talk about it and in some kind of light that questions the actual event taking place should never have happened. That's all I'm saying. They're buried. My goodness, it's You're a liar. You're a liar, Goodman. I'm not a liar. I'm saying literally, had he not talked about that, he'd still be on the air. That's the point. I'm actually defending Alex Jones by saying this. I'm actually defending Alex Jones. But the issue here is that the same allegiance is like this blind allegiance. It's like this blind allegiance. People don't get it. Like they don't. I'm trying to also explain, like, I was on the left. I know how the left thinks. And unfortunately, people on the left have a monopoly on platforms. No, I don't sound like CNN, because CNN is not saying that Alex Jones should never have been banned. Again, I have a little bit of a nuanced take on it. Here's my take, okay? Like if you're not 100% zealot, then it's like a big problem. The issue with Alex Jones is that he should never have been banned, but what took place was he talked about things that were open wounds, and then he harped on them, and he shouldn't have done that. That's why eventually he got banned. And that's all I'm saying. If you don't understand what you're up against, like, Trump is not stupid. He knows what he's up against, and then that's how he wins. What Alex Jones should have done is he should have said, okay, well, who am I up against? What are they capable of? And what do I can go ahead and build my platform without talking about Sandy Hook. Why do you even need to go there? You don't need to go there. And it's just, especially if kids if parents are grieving, why go ahead and add to their loss? It's like it was a horrendous tragedy. Don't bring it up. There's enough with the military industrial complex and all that stuff. So it's not only about, yes, the censorship is bad, but you saw it, the writing was on the wall regarding certain things. Do I think it's wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely, I think it's wrong. I don't think he should have been banned. And this was a power grab by people on the left. But Jones made it easy for them because they could just hide behind, yeah, you know what? He increased the pain and anguish of parents who lost their kids. So now what are you going to say if you're Alex Jones? Well, you know, yeah, I did spend a whole bunch of segments on that. I mean, that's the thing. So I think it's horrible, but at the same time, you have to know the mentality of these people. The mentality is, oh my God, fake news led to Hillary's loss. Everything is regarding Hillary Clinton and power. They don't even really care about what Alex Jones did regarding that topic. What they care about is what they could utilize for their overall spin. Their overall spin is fake news hurt Hillary Clinton. She would have won. She would have won. But we were fed fake news all the time regarding Loretta Lynch, golf Brexit grandchildren, regarding the server. She didn't use this. It was for convenience. It was for yoga. It was allowed. President Obama said he didn't know until recently, or until media reports. Everyone was lying. The Steele dossier was a fake news document, but the thing is, you can go ahead and call out the conspiracy on the left by just utilizing, you know, reputable sources. Is it right? No. It's not right that he got deplatformed, but he allowed them to do it. He gave them the ammunition they needed. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I guess it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Rick Gates. Let's go back to Rick Gates. So now they're all talking about Rick Gates. Paul Manafort trial, day 5. Rick Gates testifies he committed crimes. Bank tax fraud and Manafort's direction. Paul Manafort, President Trump's one-time campaign chairman, is on trial in federal court. This is the Washington Post. And Alexandria on bank and tax fraud charges. Prosecutors allege that he failed to pay taxes on millions he made from his work for a Russian-friendly Ukrainian political party that also Tony Podesta also worked for. And Tony Podesta failed to register as well as a Russian agent, and he was paid from those offshore accounts, and he is now under federal criminal investigation from the Mueller probe also. So you have a situation where Tony Podesta is going to be in the same lead guitar man. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Lead guitar man. Thank you. Well, Tom, I agree with you, but here's the issue. The issue of fake, I agree, let people decide what fake news, but there's also the understanding of you're on YouTube and you're a content creator, so you have to like abide by certain policies. If you abide by certain policies, you're pretty much good. You know, if you play a song or whatever, you know, you have to worry about a copyright. If you go ahead and use too much profanity or too much, the thing is, it's their platform, unfortunately. And obviously it's geared towards like Keith Olbermann, like Twitter with Keith Olbermann. Of course, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is you have to understand the double standard and work around it. I'm not saying there's not a double standard. And I'm also saying that Alex Jones shouldn't have spoken about Sandy Hook at all. At the end of the day, he also should never have been banned. But he was banned because there's a double standard. Same with Twitter. On Twitter, can you remember Keith Olbermann? Is that why? Keith Olbermann would use profanity all the time against Trump. He would break every Twitter rule, every single Twitter rule. Maria Baikovsky, thank you, Maria Baikovsky, thank you. Thank you, Maria Baikovsky, thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Maria, greatly appreciated, thank you. As always, thank you. The double standard is he used profanity, he used vulgar language. He pretty much broke every single Twitter rule there was, but he didn't get kicked off of Twitter. The only thing he did now was rebrand himself, and he's just, thank you again, Maria, thank you. The only thing that he did was rebrand himself, but he never got kicked off of Twitter, ever. He never even got like censored from Twitter. People would use profanity and then they'd be, you know, suspended. But not Keith Olbermann. And that's what you have to work around. There's obviously a double standard, and there's obviously it's obviously unfair, but at the same time, dial it down a little, dial it back a little bit. Like, give up the battle for the war. Does that, I mean, do people who dislike my thought process, do you understand? Like, give up the battle, like one tiny battle. Let's say you believe something took place on a very controversial topic. Even if you, like, ordinarily most people would not talk about it, but let's say you feel that you should talk about it. You know, you owe it to your audience to, like, if you see the writing on the wall, just dial it back and win the war. Go long term. I never lied about what I am defending freedom of speech. I don't think, okay, again, like, I am defending freedom of speech, okay? Very simple. I am saying that he should never have been banned. I am also saying he made it difficult for himself. How is that not defending? How is that not defending Alex Jones? I'm saying he made it difficult for himself. How is that even a controversial discussion? So, Maria, thank you. Nosical J. Gates was an FBI informant only a few months before the FBI accused him of being a Trump Russian spy. Yeah, or Carter Page, you mean? Yes, seems odd. Exactly. Carter Page. We'll get to that in a second. So, Carter Page was an FBI informant. And, okay, so Carter Page. Oh, Gates was? Okay, so hold on. Rick Gates. So, informant inside Manafort firm. Errant court filings suggest feds had an informant in Manafort firm. A document that former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort's attorney appears to have accidentally filed in court Wednesday suggests that federal investigators had an informant inside Manafort's consulting firm who provided information about his financial dealings. The one-page memo submitted along with a routine scheduling motion seems to have been prepared by defense lawyer or investigators trying to assemble information that could support a claim by Manafort's defense of improper contacts between the prosecution team, now headed by Mueller, and the media. The document, titled DOJ, OSC, and the Press, says that a reporter appeared to obtain access to internal documents from the firm Manafort founded, Davis Manafort's Partner International. The memo indicated that an affidavit for a seizure warrant obtained by prosecutors on the same day Manafort was indicted in October says that a Davis Manafort staffer acknowledged allowing a journalist to look at the firm's digital records. So it doesn't say anything about Gates. A spokesman from Mueller's team declined to comment. On October 27, 2017, Manafort and one of his key associates, Rick Gates, were indicted on charges including money. Okay, so I can't find anything that says that you're tap dancing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh, Page. Yeah, Carter Page. Denise, thank you so much for watching, Denise. I'll see you in the next chat. Thank you. Okay, the censoring of Alex Jones is not the beginning of the end. Oh, it could be. Sorry, I didn't read the whole. Yeah, I mean, if Alex Jones goes ahead and sets up his own, if he sets up his own platform, which he could do because he has the brand name, then that could be the beginning. Well, it's not the stench of liberalism. It's just, I think, nuance. It's not liberalism to say that Jones saw the writing on the wall. I don't think that's being like a social justice warrior or anything. I don't want the frogs. I get what you're saying, Itchy. Not everyone will, but that's human nature. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Tatanka Custom Knives. Thank you. It's kind of like this, it's kind of like this. Like, it's kind of like this. Like, I don't know if there's an analogy, but you should know what your no, I wouldn't. Why are you lying? You didn't see the video. I'm not talking about a specific video. Just even bringing up the tragedy, he shouldn't have done. And that statement is pretty all-encompassing. No. Also, the the issue with Alex Jones is this. It's an example of a breach against a violation of freedom of speech, but also they hide behind, well, it's YouTube policies or it's Apple policies. Tatanka Custom Knives, thank you so much. Maria Baikovsky, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, also, like, if you disagree with me, like, and I say this with all due respect, it's not like I'm like I don't have the key to like all wisdom in the world. But if you disagree with me, just understand that, like, if Alex Jones or anyone utilizes my philosophy, they would still be on. That's all I'm trying to say. I would rather have Alex Jones on than off. I think that he's an important foil to, the TYTs of the world, to the CNNs of the world, whatever. Do I agree with everything? No. But the point is, but he is an important foil. So Rachel, Laura, Rochelle, Laura, sorry, Rochelle, Laura. No one makes me laugh like you. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Rochelle. Beautiful name. Rochelle is a beautiful, beautiful name. Rochelle, Laura, thank you. Rochelle, I'm getting attacked by the people I love. The typical day for H.A. Goodman. Typical day. Getting attacked by people, by people I love. Just another day in H.A.'s life. Another day. Maria Baikovsky, thank you so very much. Rochelle, Laura, beautiful name, Rochelle. Rochelle, Laura, thank you so very much. That's very, very sweet of you. Thank you. All right, so let me move on. I'm spinning wheels on this. You're right. No, I agree with you. I'm going to move on from the Alex Jones topic. Let's talk about Q. Okay, I'm joking. Just joking. No, I'm joking. Rochelle, Laura, thank you so very much. Goodman is a jellyfish. Don't jellyfish sting? Hold on one second. Let me see this. Jellyfish. That's right. Of course they do. I might not have backbone, but I sting. Jellyfish stings. All right. Anyway, so Trump campaign. Gates knew he was speaking to Russian. So Russian intel agent. A court filing from special counsel Mueller says Gates stated he was aware person A was linked to Russian intelligence. Yeah, but a lot of people are linked to Russian intelligence in Russia. Wealthy people in Russia are linked to Russian intelligence. You want to know who else is linked to Russian intelligence? Oh, I don't know, Vladimir Putin. Let's read this. Putin. I met with Vladimir Putin. Rootin' tootin'. Uranium meeting. Bill Clinton met with Putin. So here's Newsweek. Oh my God. So don't worry, everybody. I'll talk about Q afterwards. No, I was just joking. I'm joking. Rochelle, Laura, thank you. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you. So this is the Newsweek article. Caleb and Levi, can we talk about FISA? What country was Carter Page working with to get a Title I FISA warrant against him? Well, he wasn't really. He worked in Russia, but the thing is, he was like a low-level camp in Trump's campaign. But he actually worked with the FBI as well, and the whole point was that there was no evidence against him of anything. They just wanted to go ahead and find some kind of dirt, and basically what they wanted to do is legitimize an overall investigation. So they didn't have anything on Trump, but if they had a dossier, if they had a FISA warrant, and they had all these things, it would be the makings, the structure of a real investigation. So he had business dealings in Russia, but there's nothing. I mean, like he never committed a crime. He's never even accused of committing a crime. Terry Clemens, so angry that they shut down Alex Jones, he will be bigger than ever. Unsubscribe from most YouTube channels. 1776 will commence again. I want Alex Jones to be bigger than ever. That's my point. I would like him to dial back on certain things, but, you know, I want him to be bigger than ever because there needs to be a foil to the legitimized conspiracy theories on the left. I agree with you, Terry Clemens. I agree with you. Jeff McDaniel 100. Your thought process works fine, or your thought process worked fine, or we would bow out, not support this channel. Your mainstream sources stop the naysayers. I am hoping after read all the Q drops, you analyze everything there. Total respect to you, your work. Thank you, Jeff McDaniel 100. Thank you. Thank you. Well, the questions on, like, I was reading the questions on the Q, like one Q post, and it's like pretty much questions that I ask. So, I mean, but Jeff McDaniel 100, thank you. Thank you. And I agree with you. Like, if you use oh my God, I said that. Oh my God. People are upset. Yeah. I swear you can't. Now, Jeff McDaniel at 100, I'm reading something. No, I never said that Alex Jones was a conspiracy theorist. What I said was he should not have spoken about Sandy Hook. That was bad that he did that. Very bad. That is very bad. And he shouldn't have done it. But I do think that he could be bigger than ever, and I don't agree. He should never have been banned. So I am upset that he's banned. Yes. The thought crime there, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, go long game. Don't sacrifice one battle if you believe it's a battle for the war, to win the war. So Jeff McDaniel 100, thank you so very much. I mean, the mainstream sources I do think are very, very important, because what happens is, like, for example, this article right here, Russian uranium investigation, Bill Clinton met Putin after asking to meet top nuclear official. Whenever they say, oh my God, look at this, they met with a Russian operative. Nobody questions. No, you will not be banned from YouTube unless you do something like, open up an open wound and, like, pour salt in it, like discussing Sandy Hook. That's what would get you banned. But see, the thing is freedom of speech and being a YouTube. Again, my critique is going to be lost in translation. I am actually supporting Alex Jones, and I don't believe that he should be banned. But also, it's not a freedom of speech issue. It's abiding by a content policy that obviously is geared more towards TYT than Alex Jones, more towards CNN than Alex Jones. See the nuance there? I hope so. I hope everyone sees the nuance. It's no secret that there's a bias against conservatives. And like I said, I don't want Alex Jones to be banned. I want him to be back on YouTube, and something tells me that he will be. I think that he will be. Something tells me that he will be. If he goes ahead and he plays nice with YouTube brass and says, "Look, you know what? I won't talk about certain things, or I won't go ahead and talk about certain things," then I don't know. Because this ultimately, I think, is bad for all those platforms. I love Sticks, and I have no idea. There's nothing he says controversial, so I have no idea why he would ever be in trouble. Alex Jones could possibly also, maybe not with YouTube, but like with Apple. Like the other platforms, I don't know. I don't even think they really have the. No, I don't. That's my point. I'm not defending anyone who calls Michelle Obama a man. No. But what I'm saying is that you shouldn't. What I'm saying is that you shouldn't be deplatformed, because then when you say that Melania is you insult Melania and you're on the left and you don't get deplatformed, then there's a problem. There's a double standard. That's all I'm saying. So I'm getting it from both sides. And actually, what I was saying is that he should have toned it down for the long game. So I agree. There's certain things but there's also things that Mika Brzezinski states that I think are horrendous. Here's Mika Brzezinski on Trump. So Trump, hold on a second. Trump. Vox, the awkward debate around Trump's mental fitness. That is, if what's the difference between what Alex Jones is saying about Hillary Clinton and what Vox or others are saying about Trump? President Donald Trump's mental state is in enormous present danger. How? This is 8 months ago. What if the tables were turned, That's the thing. It's like, that's on YouTube right here. President Donald Trump's mental state is in enormous present danger. No, it's not. 8 months ago. His mental state has led to what? A great economy, peace between North and South Korea, corrupt FBI agents being exposed. So, and then we have the whole, why can't Trump condemn Russia? Like, what do they have to condemn? And at least you had Alex Jones with a petition for Julian Assange, which is good. You don't have any people on the left, major voices on the left. So you don't have major voices on the left speaking out. I'm talking about like major voices. Um, So Bill Clinton met Putin after asking to meet top nuclear industry official. Here's the double standard. When planning a trip to Moscow for speaking, this is obviously several years back, October 20th, 2017. When planning a trip to Moscow for speaking engagement in June 2010, former President Bill Clinton reportedly tried to meet with an official who was part of a Russian state company seeking approval to purchase a uranium company with holdings in the United States. Instead, Clinton ended up meeting Vladimir Putin. Where was the outrage? Where's the discussion? Where's the investigation? A month prior to the trip, Clinton, whose wife Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State at the time, asked the State Department if it had any concerns about a list of 15 people he intended to meet in Russia. The Hill reported Thursday, citing emails and government records. Among them was Arkady Dvorkovich, an aide to Russia's president at the time, Dmitry Medvedev, and a board director of Rosatom, the state-run atomic energy agency that was vying for a majority stake in Canadian company Uranium One. The company had mines in the United States, and if the deal went through, Russia would gain control of 20% of U.S. uranium. There you go. So he wanted to meet with Rosatom officials, then he met with Putin. That's even worse on the totem pole of suspicion. Yet there's no But Clinton did visit Putin at his home, and then he eventually visited the Rosatom. According to the Hill, the emails did not indicate how the matter was concluded, but Bill Clinton ended up didn't meet the Rosatom official, but he met with Putin. But Clinton did visit Vladimir Putin at his home. At the time, Putin was serving as Russia's prime minister after spending 8 years as president. So my buddy just told me that InfoWars moved to BitChute. Wow. That is huge for BitChute. Well, I think they already had a BitChute. That is huge for BitChute. Like, enormous. Wow, how does InfoWars only have 8,000 subs on BitChute? Well, I guess BitChute is a growing platform. I think I have only 1,000 subs. No, what do I have? I love BitChute, by the way. It's a great platform. I have 3,000 subs. How is that possible? 3,000 on BitChute. So everybody just go to BitChute. One of my buddies told me, if you go to BitChute, you'll be able to see Alex. I have a feeling though he's going to be back on YouTube. I do have a feeling, though, he's going to be back on YouTube. So how do you have this? How do you have this? Bill Clinton did visit Putin at his home at the time Putin was serving as Russia's prime minister after spending 8 years as president from 2000 to 2008. So exactly when the shoe's on the other foot, they don't care. And what they've done is suspicion, outrage. What do you want me? Oh my God. Again, let me just say, because there's people like seething here. Look, it's not a first they came for Alex Jones because not everyone is talking, like, has stated whatever, did segments on Sandy Hook. The issue, I can tell you the reason that he was deplatformed was that the left was looking for a way to deplatform him for a long time. He had a target on his back. I am stating that he should be back on YouTube. I am hoping he will be back. I am upset and angry and frustrated that he has been banned. I think it is wrong. Now the nuance. So we don't get, like, we don't have a miscommunication. The nuance is that he didn't play the long, or maybe he did, but maybe that's how he got so successful. But the long game was that you don't go ahead and give your political opponents an easy layup. No, it's not. It's the truth. You don't go ahead and you don't allow them. You don't create an Achilles heel and say, okay, well, you know what? Hit me there. He didn't have to, if he had not spoken about that, everything else, frogs, whatever they wanted to spin, they wouldn't have been able to ban him. And that's it. The long game is not a cop-out. The long game is important. You don't want to fall into a trap out of principle. If people on the left say, hey, you know what? If you talk about that, it's going to make us easier to ban you. And it also just so happens to be like a crazy thing to talk about. So he should never have spoken about Sandy Hook ever. But the thing is, if you give them that opportunity, they're going to latch onto it. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that he should have been banned at all. I don't think that he should have been banned at all. I think that it's very bad. I'm just explaining the nuance behind it. Like, that's all. And I like that. I like that he started that petition to help Julian Assange. And Mrs. Christine Assange also stated that she thanked him, and that was a great thing. So one of these amazing authors, Andrew McCarthy, is amazing. He's a best-selling contributor to editor review. It's a really, really cool photo of him playing ice hockey. I think he's like, and where he's at, it's like over 90 degrees outside. What are they saying now regarding Pulseberry? The reason he can't talk, the reason he couldn't talk about anything he wants is because he's within a platform that has certain guidelines. Again, I don't think he should have been banned. And those two thoughts, don't cancel out one another. I don't think he should have been banned at all. Yeah, and I agree with you on that. Like, definitely, I don't think there should be a long game in terms of self-censorship. Absolutely. Absolutely. There shouldn't be. I think that Alex Jones has that an enormous, enormous brand name, and he could definitely rebound. And I actually think he'll be back on YouTube. I don't see that. Stanford study finds fake news didn't tip election against Clinton. So, ironically, the most widely believed fake news stories during the election were those that benefited Hillary Clinton. There you go. There you go. So I already talked about that, but the Democratic Party right now is going to lose both the House and the Senate. And when that happens, you're going to see like Democrats, though they won't be able to ban anything anymore because that didn't work. They won't be able to call Trump a Nazi because that didn't work. It'll be interesting. I think that what'll take place is they'll continue they'll just continue to go ahead and try to focus on Russia again. And it won't work. It just will not work. They'll lose again in 2020. The interesting thing is I think that the progressive movement, the way it is right now, will be swallowed up almost completely by the liberal establishment. Because the progressive movement has they have one or two major policy goals, and that's it. That's accepted by the liberal establishment. Oh my God. So let's go ahead and see. And like, for the record, I don't think he should be banned. So and then I keep on bringing up the fact that Hillary Clinton called black youth super predators. In this world, that should be enough to completely destroy someone's career. But she was Democratic nominee. That's the point. People overlook that without even thinking. But then they'll bring up something Alex Jones stated, and they're like, "What? You don't think you should be deplatformed from saying this?" It's like, you have a Democratic nominee. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Thank you, Terry Clemens. Thank you. And I'm upset too. I agree. the interesting, what they did with Alex Jones is what they tried to do is they think it's a victory because it's one less voice. The problem, though, is that Alex Jones, and of course a much, much smaller scale, me, if you have voices in politics that are calling out the hyperbole, even though Alex Jones engaged in hyperbole himself, but if you have voices calling out the hyperbole, the conspiracy theories on the left, which essentially, like, if you claim that Trump colluded with Russia and you don't have any evidence at all after like 3-4 years, like it's 2015 they started spying on Trump, and you say that he's going to destroy the planet, he's going to destroy the economy, there's going to be a nuclear war, he's a Nazi, all of these things that are patently false. He just prayed with a black pastor the other day, black pastors, many black pastors, and prayed. Everything that they said, every single thing that they said didn't turn out. And yet they think it's a victory now, but they don't realize that it's not Alex Jones, it's not people on the conservative side of the divide, or even the center conservative side. It's not those people who are giving a voice to millions. It's millions of people who have their own voices and who have their own thinking. And whereas I don't agree with certain beliefs of a whole lot of people, both left and right, that doesn't mean that a lot of what they say isn't true, or that a lot of what they say isn't correlated to reality. The reality is that people on the left, Democratic Party, corrupt FBI officials like James Comey and Clapper and Brennan, all of them fabricated and covered up for Clinton's crimes. So a guy like me, who has a small but growing voice, or whatever you'd want to call my voice, I was stating in 2015 that Clinton would lose to Trump. Nobody believed it. They said I was crazy. But I was published in the Huffington Post, so they couldn't say anything, to Trish League. What are your thoughts on Chicago Democrats pleading for help from President Trump? Well, I think what's taken place is Rahm Emanuel is just horrible in many ways. My God, 71. Oh my God! And Chicago has Chicago has the strictest gun laws. That's crazy. That is crazy. And that's the Democratic Party. I mean, so that's the Democratic Party right there. So Trish League, I think that's just the Democratic Party basically being forced to admit that it's incompetent. I'm not sleeping on First Amendment. I think that anyone should have there should be platform. I think YouTube should allow anyone to say anything. If you asked me, aside from like violence, I think that YouTube should allow anyone to say anything. Unfortunately, they have certain guidelines. That's all I'm saying. And I think it's wrong that he was banned. And I think that him being banned is an issue like a lot more complicated than we all think. It's not just about free speech. It's about a power play. on the left that will backfire as always. They don't. The left will always lose politically, continually lose until they realize that they have to say, we want to bring home all our soldiers from wars. Not everyone is a Nazi. Let's debate. Let's talk. Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel holds a press conference. Wow. Wow. My God Almighty! And this is the most strict gun control. Giuliani slams Rahm Emanuel. Oh my God! One-party Democratic rule. They are going to get crushed in the midterms. It's like it's not even close. So Trish League, I think that they're going to get crushed in the midterms. Trish, I think that you cannot run on a platform of, oh, we will abolish the same organization, ICE, that Obama used to deport 2.5 million people. At a certain point, they have to, and then you have the spy, the Dianne Feinstein, the spy regarding Dianne Feinstein, that she had for 20 years. Bosnian gun sniper. Oh my goodness. You know, at a certain point, Democrats and liberals are going to have to admit that they're not the smartest people in the room. And that whereas they might be intelligent, intelligence does not correlate to wisdom. Wisdom is infinitely more important than intelligence. I hope I possess more wisdom than intelligence. Being able to ace a test on a piece of paper isn't going to get me out of a jam or out of, some kind of horrible situation in life. Wisdom will. Wisdom gives you the tools to live a happy life. Intelligence doesn't. There's a huge difference between wisdom and intelligence, a huge difference. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so interesting. It is going to be so interesting when they lose. So and then they're going, it'll be interesting also to see it'll be interesting also to see like It'll be interesting to see how the progressive movement responds to Democrats losing the House. No, it's not. That's obviously my opinion. But I don't think eventually you'll be silenced for something. I do think that issue was the biggest issue. That's the issue that they latched onto. And also, I don't know what other like content strikes or whatever, but that was the biggest issue. Like the frogs thing and whatever, like that was their biggest issue that they latched onto. What took place was, unfortunately, they latched onto that, and then that magnified any other thing they didn't like about him. But that's just my viewpoint. Can I say, with 100% certainty? Of course not. But that's from what I see, my viewpoint. Because that's the only thing you can say that was actually like caused people like, heartache, But Mueller, Trump. So, president urged to stop tweeting on Trump Tower meeting. Trump nominates new ICE director. President Trump on Monday formally nominated the acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So this is what I like to do also. Just every propaganda spin. Just put Obama, ICE, immigrants, 2014. Let's just go there. Obama administration family deportation raids begin. Okay. So family deportation raids, no problem. This past weekend, Immigration and Customs Enforcement engaged in concerted nationwide effort to take in custody and return greater rate of adults who enter this country illegally, Johnson said. Okay. So this happened under President Obama. Not one person on the left called Obama a Nazi. I wonder why. Maybe because the use of hyperbole is all that people do now. That's all they do. This past weekend, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, engaged in a concerted nationwide effort. This is Jay Johnson, President Obama's Chief of Homeland Security. How is this okay? Then you don't, and it's not just one article. This is Politico. This is a Politico article. H-A parentheses. The parentheses guy. This should come as no surprise. I said months publicly that individuals who constitute enforcement priorities, including families and unaccompanied children, will be removed. Wow. This should come at no surprise. Unaccompanied children. Families and unaccompanied children will be removed. Okay. One should inquire where Jay Johnson was removing them to. It's never a bad thing when Obama does the same or worse as Trump. It's never a bad thing. Oh my goodness. And it's not that difficult to do either. It's not that difficult to do either. It's like, this is all, public record. The deportation machine Obama built for President Trump. Okay. They utilized ICE to deport 2.5 million people, and that was okay. And even Snopes, well, statistically, more people were deported. But what's false? Well, it's deportations under Obama. The definition changed to actually taking people from the United States to actually just turning them away back into the desert. Wow, what a humane thing to do. What a wonderfully humane thing to do. U.S. deportations of immigrants reached record high in 2013. And gee, no discussion of Obama being a Nazi or anything like that. It's like the Obama administration deported a record 421,000 unauthorized immigrants in fiscal year 2013, continuing a streak of stepped-up enforcement that has resulted in 2 million deportations. Wow. So tell me again, like, this is just, it's just unbelievable. This is the Pew Research Center. And what's taking place on the left is that progressives, they don't like establishment Democrats or Trump. I don't know how people think there's going to be a blue wave. You're not going to get, like the real progressive candidates aren't going to go ahead and win in red states. Even Pinterest removed. Wow. It's craziness. What I don't get is the concerted thing. Like, how did Apple, Facebook, and YouTube all at once? And just to let you know, like, well, whatever. I'm not even going to go there. Forget about it. I've said enough. Janice Webb. Hi, HA. Thanks for all you do. Keep rocking the live streams and growing your audience. Thank you so very much, Janice. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly appreciated as always, and thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you, Janice Webb. Thank you. Thank you, Janice Webb. So now Trump might declassify the FISA. That would be so awesome. Be so awesome. I can't wait also till Facebook and Twitter. YouTube will be around like forever, but Facebook and Twitter, that is not, there's no use for Facebook or Twitter unless it's like you need the only use for Facebook, the only real use is if you don't know where, like, you know, somebody that you want to keep in touch with or finally like meet up with for, like, you know, years and years and years, you've lost touch with them. That's the only use for Facebook. Other than that, there's no use for Facebook. There's zero use for Facebook. And that's the thing. Democrats have complete amnesia. Complete and total amnesia. They also don't understand, like, when liberals think that, like, Alex Jones being banned is good for them. They don't get that the distrust of media. Alex Jones did not create a distrust of media. Golf, Brexit, and grandchildren created a distrust of media. Clinton created distrust. Everyone's saying that she would win, that Trump would destroy the planet. All of that created a distrust. You know, the Russia Gate nonsense created distrust. They think that people are so gullible, and if you would just listen to MSNBC and not other sources, this won't even help MSNBC. It's not like people who listen to Alex Jones are suddenly going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to try CNN. I'm just going to try CNN for my news. I can't listen to Alex Jones on YouTube, so I'm just going to try CNN. CNN's not going to benefit at all. At all. Now everyone's talking about how Manafort stared down Rick Gates. Oh my God. Who cares? And that's all they have. They don't have anything regarding Russia collusion. The problem is, like, Hillary and Bill are so corrupt that they have to then now create they have to create a trial because Manafort did something that has nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion. So, okay, well, you know what? That's just as bad. Not really, but that's what they believe. Let's go. Wait, let me see the time. What's the Time Magazine article? Time Magazine. Time magazine cover. All right, so let's. So a lot of people are actually using. Actually, people on the left are actually also saying. A lot of people are saying that the banning of Alex Jones is obviously, a horrible thing regarding not just freedom of speech, but also content for anyone, left or right. And I agree with that. I've always stated that. Tom Fitton, 4 things we learned from the FBI's mostly redacted Steele dossier documents. Hold on one second. This is Tom Fitton.
On Donald Trump's side with the 2018 midterm elections. But if anything, it's exactly the opposite again. We got that Facebook story last week. They took down some of the sites that clearly had some apparently Russian influence in them. And they were anti-Trump. There was one showing Donald Trump screaming in front of a Nazi flag. That's one of the ones that was taken down. There are others that send protesters to anti-ICE rallies. If there was Russian collusion with anybody in the United States, it was against Trump, not in favor of him.
There's this idea that they want to divide America. No, they want to attack our government. They're attacking the Trump administration. During the campaign, they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win, and they attacked the Hillary Clinton campaign, knowing or thinking, like everyone else in America, or many people in America, that she was going to become president. The Russians are interested in undermining our government, and they were doing it.
But see, even that notion, the Russian government didn't start like fighting and arguing and distrust and accusations and corruption. So it's like the notion that, well, we wouldn't have, it's like, it's like the notion that, oh, well, if it wasn't for the Russians, we wouldn't be arguing, or we wouldn't have a dysfunctional system. No, we still would have a dysfunctional system. So let's just go ahead really quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, let's reconvene a little later on this evening. Thank you so very, very much for your... I know that it was a kind of a tense discussion. Again, for the record, I don't think he should have been banned. I think that what happened is the left and people who wanted his voice diminished latched on to the most controversial thing he talked about, which he didn't. If he just planned for the long game, he didn't have to go there. He could have toned it down. That doesn't mean that I think he should be banned. I don't think he should be banned at all. At all. I think that it will backfire. I think that Democrats will still lose miserably in the House and Senate. And I just want to thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you to the super chat. Thank you, everyone. Even people who disagree with me, thank you. Because, again, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Alexandra, thank you. I don't want any censorship. I don't want Alex Jones banned. My critique is simply explaining why it took place, in my view. Thank you so very, very much to my super chat. Thank you so very, very, very much. I will see you in a couple of hours. Thank you.